As the dust settles on 1923, fans are left wondering, will the promised World War II era prequel Yellowstone 1944 ever ride into view? With conflicting rumors of delays, corporate shakeups, and Taylor Sheridan's overflowing slate of projects, the fate of this highly anticipated spin-off hangs in the balance. Is it merely delayed by the chaos of Paramount's merger and the expansion of Sheridan's Yellowstone empire? Has it been quietly scrapped amid shifting priorities? Or will it defy the odds to explore the untold battles of a new Dutton generation, both on the front lines of war and the Montana frontier? The Yellowstone universe, a sprawling epic of land, legacy, and the ruthless cost of survival, has carved its place as a modern television dynasty. From the raw brutality of 1883 to the star-studded turmoil of 1923, Sheridan's prequels have deepened the Dutton mythos while leaving fans hungry for more. Now all eyes are fixed on Yellowstone 1944, a promised plunge into World War II-era Montana that's shrouded in whispers and doubt. Rumors swirl. Has Paramount's corporate chaos, including its rocky merger with Skydance, derailed the project? Is Sheridan's ever-growing empire, Tulsa King, Lawman, Bass Reeves, and the upcoming Landman, stretching the mastermind too thin? Or does the silence signal a creative pivot, with the Dutton story skipping ahead to new terrain? This theme interrogates how modern television empires like Taylor Sheridan's Yellowstone universe navigate the collision of artistic vision and industrial pragmatism. 1944's limbo becomes a microcosm of broader tensions. Can Paramount's merger turmoil coexist with Sheridan's breakneck storytelling? Does audience demand for Dutton lore outweigh the risks of diluting a franchise? By framing the World War II-era prequel as a battleground where boardroom decisions, creator exhaustion, and legacy building converge, the story underscores the high-stakes calculus behind what stories get told and who gets to tell them in an era of relentless content churn. The saga of Yellowstone, 1944, is a tangled web of Hollywood ambition, corporate chaos, and the unrelenting pressure to feed a ravenous fanbase. Following the critical and commercial success of 1923, Paramount Plus and Taylor Sheridan teased 1944 as the next chapter in the Dutton dynasty's timeline. Set during World War II and its aftermath, the prequel was poised to explore a fractured America and a Montana ranch grappling with societal upheaval. It aimed to weave unresolved threads from 1923, Spencer Dutton's return to Yellowstone, the rise of John Dutton II, and the looming threats of industrialization, into a story colliding with global conflict. Fans speculated about wartime trauma, political corruption, and the origins of modern ranch tensions, with casting rumors swirling around Brandon Sklenar's potential return as Spencer. But momentum stalled almost immediately. Paramount Global's turbulent merger negotiations with Skydance Media threw the Yellowstone plans into disarray. Budgets froze, timelines blurred, and executives clashed over prioritizing Sheridan's pricey period dramas versus newer franchises. 1944's reported $200 million-plus budget became a sticking point amid cost-cutting fears. Sheridan, the franchise's architect, became both its greatest asset and liability, juggling the flagship series' chaos, Kevin Costner's exit, and production delays alongside spin-offs like 6666 and Lawman, Bass Reeves, plus new series Landman and Tulsa King. He reportedly deprioritized 1944 to focus on resolving the main series finale and launching safer bets, like the Matthew McConaughey sequel. Critics began questioning creative fatigue, wondering if the Yellowstone formula could sustain another prequel, or if a World War II-era story would feel redundant after 1923's Prohibition-era struggles. Whispers emerged of Sheridan retooling 1944 into a broader 20th century anthology, potentially skipping ahead to reset the stakes in the 1960s or 1980s. As months passed without updates, the fandom fractured. Die-hard viewers dissected Sheridan's interviews for clues, noting vague references to exploring every generation that interests me. Online campaigns like #Release the 1944 Cut demanded transparency, while theorists argued the delay was strategic to age actors like Sklenar realistically for post-war storylines, or a sign of a deeper creative overhaul. Paramount has quietly shelved the project, citing the abrupt cancellation of Sheridan's Lioness spin-off and Mayor of Kingstown's production woes as ominous signs. As of 2024, Yellowstone, 1944 remains in limbo, but it is not officially dead. Paramount's merger with Skydance could inject new funds or scrap legacy projects in favor of fresher IP. Sheridan has dropped cryptic hints, quipping at a Landman premiere that the Duttons have survived worse than Hollywood mergers, fueling speculation that he's retooling the concept. Meanwhile, Brandon Sklenar's rising stardom complicates scheduling, though he has publicly pledged to return to Yellowstone in a heartbeat. Whether 1944 ultimately materializes or vanishes, its struggle mirrors Hollywood's broader existential crisis. Streaming's content gold rush has birthed franchises stretched too thin, showrunners turned into factory bosses, and audiences torn between loyalty and burnout. For Sheridan, the project is a test, balancing scale with substance or risking the Dutton saga succumbing to the very themes it dramatizes: greed, overreach, and the cost of dominion. The answer, much like the fate of the Dutton Ranch itself, remains stubbornly unwritten. The finalized merger between Paramount Global and Skydance Media, a complex multi-billion-dollar deal announced in July 2024, has reshaped the media landscape through a two-phase process. In the first phase, Skydance investors acquired National Amusements, Paramount's parent company controlled by the Redstone family, for several billion dollars, including debt assumption. The second phase merged Skydance and Paramount into a new entity, Paramount Skydance Corporation. Paramount shareholders received billions in cash and shares, while Skydance equity holders secured millions of Class B shares valued at a fixed price. The deal also included a go-shop period, allowing Paramount to seek alternative bids, though none materialized. A significant breakup fee was set if the merger collapsed. Regulatory approval remains a critical hurdle. The Federal Communications Commission, FCC, led by Trump-appointed Chair Brendan Carr, has delayed final sign-off due to political and legal entanglements. A major lawsuit filed by Donald Trump against CBS News over alleged deceptive editing of a Kamala Harris interview on 60 Minutes has been folded into the FCC's review, complicating negotiations further. Carr's anti-diversity, equity, and inclusion (DEI) stance, aligned with Trump's broader agenda, has forced Paramount to scale back its DEI programs in early 2025 to appease regulators. The original April 2025 deadline was extended to July 7th, with a potential second 90-day extension if unresolved. Financially, Paramount pursued the merger to stabilize its mounting debt and stem losses from its streaming division, despite Paramount Plus reaching tens of millions of subscribers. Skydance's multi-billion-dollar cash infusion aims to revive Paramount's content pipeline, particularly in animation, sports, and gaming. However, shareholder discontent simmers. A class-action lawsuit alleges Paramount's board breached fiduciary duties by rejecting a higher competing bid in favor of Skydance. Delaware courts are now scrutinizing claims that the merger undervalued public shareholders. Internally, the merger has destabilized Paramount. Layoffs of a significant portion of U.S. staff and prolonged uncertainty have cratered employee morale, with analysts warning of near-term revenue impacts. Leadership remains in flux. Skydance CEO David Ellison is poised to take over as CEO post-merger, while Paramount's interim trio, Brian Robbins, Paramount Pictures, George Cheeks, CBS, and Chris McCarthy, MTV Entertainment, manage operations amid the ongoing limbo. If approved, the merger would mark the end of the Redstone family's 30-year control of Paramount and test Ellison's ability to balance creative ambition with financial discipline. As of April 2025, the deal hangs in the balance. The project languishes in regulatory purgatory. Paramount's latest earnings report highlighted growth in streaming, but also exposed vulnerabilities in its declining linear television business. While both companies express confidence in closing the deal by the summer, analysts warn that further delays or concessions to Trump-era regulators could erode shareholder value and deepen Paramount's existential crisis in an industry now dominated by streaming giants like Netflix and Disney. The saga underscores a volatile collision: Hollywood's creative ambitions, political interference, and the ruthless economics of modern media consolidation. The fate of Yellowstone. 1944 remains as uncertain and fraught as the Dutton family's grip on their Montana ranch. What began as a tantalizing promise, a World War II-era chapter of sacrifice, survival, and generational strife, now lingers in the shadows of Hollywood's cutthroat calculus. Taylor Sheridan's vision for the prequel, once a beacon for fans craving deeper layers of Dutton lore, has become ensnared in Paramount's corporate metamorphosis, the relentless churn of franchise expansion, and the cold pragmatism of an industry that increasingly prioritizes profit over legacy. The Paramount-Skydance merger, finalized in name but mired in regulatory and political quicksand, has left 1944 stuck between competing agendas. While Skydance's cash infusion could still resurrect the project, whispers from insiders suggest Sheridan's focus has shifted towards stabilizing the Yellowstone flagship finale and launching newer ventures like the McConaughey reboot. The lavish budget required to authentically depict 1940s Montana, a price tag once justified by 1923's success, now feels like a relic of a bygone era, especially as Paramount's debt-laden balance sheet favors cheaper, less risky bets. Yet the Dutton saga, much like the family it portrays, refuses to die quietly. Fan campaigns like #ReleaseThe1944 continue to trend, a testament to the audience's hunger for closure on Spencer Dutton's fate and the rise of John Dutton II, Brandon Sklenar's open enthusiasm. "I'd ride back to that ranch tomorrow," keeps the flame flickering, even as his burgeoning career narrows the window for reprising the role. Sheridan, ever the cowboy poet, continues to drop breadcrumbs in interviews, hinting at unfinished business while carefully avoiding hard commitments. In the end, 1944's limbo mirrors the central tension of the Yellowstone universe itself, the fight to preserve legacy in a world that rewards reinvention. Whether the prequel emerges from development hell or fades into myth may hinge on Paramount's post-merger priorities, and whether Sheridan can carve out space in his empire for one last gamble. For now, the question hangs like Montana's horizon, vast and unresolved. The Duttons, after all, have endured worse than Hollywood's whims. Their story, real or imagined, was never meant to end neatly. The sun dips below the Montana peaks, casting long shadows over the Yellowstone Ranch, a metaphor as timeless as the Duttons' battle to hold their ground. Yellowstone. 1944, once envisioned as a bridge between the family's past and present, now exists as a ghost in the franchise's sprawling mythology. Paramount's merger with Skydance, finalized but fraying at the edges, has traded ambition for austerity. Taylor Sheridan, ever the pragmatist, has quietly pivoted to secure the flagship Yellowstone's conclusion and shepherd new ventures like Landman and the McConaughey-era reboot. The World War II prequel, with its monumental budget and period-piece grandeur, has slipped into the archives of someday. Yet in the silence, legends grow. Fans dissect every Sheridan interview, clinging to his offhand remark that history isn't done with the Duttons. Brandon Sklenar, older now and weathered by rising fame, still speaks of Spencer's unfinished journey with a wistful grit. On social media, the hashtag #ReleaseThe1944 has morphed into fan fiction, speculative scripts, and AI-rendered trailers, a grassroots tribute to the story Paramount wouldn't tell. The ending, like the Duttons themselves, refuses to fade quietly. Yellowstone. 1944 remains neither dead nor alive, a phantom chapter haunting the franchise's edges. Perhaps Sheridan will resurrect it as a surprise epilogue. Perhaps its DNA will fuel future spin-offs, woven into the battles of newer generations. Or perhaps it will endure as a what-if, a testament to the cost of building empires, both on-screen and off. The Dutton saga isn't over, and neither is ours. If you're craving more deep dives into Yellowstone's twists, Hollywood's hidden wars, or updates on whether 1944 ever rides out of limbo, smash that subscribe button and ring the bell. We're your outpost for all things frontier drama. From Paramount's boardroom battles to Taylor Sheridan's next move. Drop a comment below. Should Paramount greenlight 1944 or let it die? What Dutton era should we dissect next?